Live from Southern California, this is the Jim Rome Show, SmackOff 25 on CBS Sports Radio.
Into hour number 2, what's going on? This is great. Former NFLer Toy Cook is tweeting about the SmackOff. And he writes, the world has been righted now that at Sean the Cowboy Nation has resurfaced. All I need now is, quote, Clarence from Sierra Madre. Hey, Toy, how awesome would it be if Clarence were to check in? Clarence. Toy, you're the best. It is awesome. All right. We go to hour number 2. This show is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is with you every step of the way to provide a seamless mortgage experience. Really quickly, I've got a former champ coming up next. I want to remind you, if you're tweeting or you're on Instagram, hashtag it SmackOff for a couple of reasons. If you hashtag SmackOff on Twitter and you're on TweetDeck, you'll see every mention about the program. Also, my pals back in New York are doing an amazing job, are bumping in the watch party videos. If you're on Instagram, make sure your account is set to public. It won't work if it's on private. Get video of your watch party and then put it on Instagram, hashtag it SmackOff, and CBS Sports Network will find it and turn it around and bump it in. Probably. We've already done so. It's been great. We're into hour number 2. Quickly, some reaction off the top of hour 1. Sean Beasley tweets, that's 6 for the Cowboy Nation. Boom, goes to Dynamite. JC in Calgary tweets, shut it down, let's go home. Hashtag SmackOff, that's 6 for me. Sign the Cowboy Nation. Douglas Doran tweets, hashtag SmackOff. I'm already handing it to at Sean T. Pendergast. Listen, the Cowboy Nation, this is what this guy does, right? He makes it look easy, smooth and easy, like the guy's not even trying. Don't give it to him just yet. I've got some major hitters coming up right now, including this guy. He is your 2010 SmackOff champion. He is chasing that elusive second crown. Is this the year he finally saved his best stuff for the biggest stage? Let's find out. You know him as Broadway Victor. We go to NoCal. Vic in NoCal. Broadway Vic, what's up?
Brother, it's great to be back in SmackOff 25, also known as Brad's quest to chase down that elusive white whale. And I don't mean that figuratively, okay? I mean literally. The Cowboy Nation is like a big-ass white whale, man. I mean, holy crap, Shawnee, what the hell has CBS Sports been paying you in? Corn dogs and cookie dough? Anyway, before I forget, I want to welcome the new guy to his first SmackOff. You don't know this, Ike, but I've actually been a big fan of yours for a while now, ever since I saw you in Cocoon. I mean, dude, you and Jessica Tandy are like my favorite on-screen couple ever. Speaking of actors, Mark and Hollywood's career is in the toilet again. I mean, Mark's so desperate for work these days that he recently auditioned for a snuff film. Yeah, he didn't get a call back for that either, Rome, which sucks because that means he's going to live to make another crappy phone call today. Hey, I'm predicting a lot of penile references in Brad and Corona's call today. I mean, it's been a decade since the DDS Ditola diagnosed Brad with a severe case of, well, DDS, Dong Derangement Syndrome. But my man remains unfazed. I mean, Brad spends more time talking about cranks than a 1920s mechanic. Hell, he could probably give an entire 20-minute TED Talk on the topic of tube. Hey, let's talk about that Muppet Rick in Buffalo. Or should I say Shtick in Buffalo, because this is what he used to sound like.
Rick in Buffalo, he made it in. I got to be honest, Jim, I'm a little disappointed the Bills haven't fired Rex Ryan yet. And I can only hope that the reports he's going to be gone at the end of the season are true. Believe me, everyone here in Buffalo.
You see, Rick, you may have been Rick back then, Shtick, but somewhere along the way, Shtick, you ceased being Rick and you became Shtick. But you know, the cool thing about Rick, though, is that his radio name, Rick in Buffalo, can also be used to describe his wedding night. And Rome, I'd say that Brad and Corona's name could be used to describe his drinking habits, but for that to be true, Brad would have to move to a city called like Appletini, California, because even a watery Corona beer must taste like freaking diesel fumes to that little snitch, Brad. Hey, Brad, you're so feminine and beta, I'm going to start calling you that broad in Corona. Okay, broad? Dude, you're so feminine and beta, I'm pretty sure that as a baby you were breastfed soy milk. And Rome, that psychotic weirdo who calls your show all the time, Matt in L.A., yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy was breastfed crack smoke. Okay, I don't get that guy, man. I don't know if he's like a former travel agent who lost his mind after Orbitz.com put him out of business, or if he's like some disgraced former geography teacher who ended up in jail for handing out A's in exchange for drugs. From San Quentin to Zimbabwe, from cell block B to Burkina Faso, from the prison rec yard to Reykjavik. Matt, I don't know how the hell you can get through your calls when I'm sure that smell phone you put up to your face must totally stink after you have to jailhouse wallet it past the guards as contraband every time you call. Well, I'd like to end by congratulating Stevie Carbone on having a lot of Twitter followers. I know that's very important to him. Of course, in order to get there, Stevie had to sit through like 1,500 hours of The Bachelorette. Good Lord, Stevie. When people ask you what you do for a living, do you lie and tell them you're in porno? I mean, hey, listen, all kidding aside, that's actually not bad work if you can get it. Porno, I mean, that's pretty much my dream job. Now, just hear me out. It's not for the reasons you might think, all right? Believe it or not, the prospect of having to Brazilian wax my package every other week just so I can do all kinds of vile things to drug-addicted runaways. Starlets who just really, really like sex is not all that appealing to me. No, the reason I want to go into porn can be summed up by 2 words: job security. Okay, think about it, man. You got these movies, right? You see hundreds, if not thousands of different girls, right? But you always see the same 7 dudes. Hey, that's what Jay Stu told me, okay? I don't watch that garbage myself. But for real, whether it's Pete North or that one bald-headed dude, it's like some kind of starting rotation in baseball. Hey, man, have you seen Johnny around? Oh, yeah, I've seen him, bro. He's working today. He's going on 3 days rest. It's like these 7 guys are like the Supreme Court justices of porn, you know? If you're lucky enough to land one of these 7 gigs, you get to keep it till the day you die. For real, I'm surprised old man Rooney there at 60 Minutes never did a piece on this. Have you ever noticed that when you're watching porno, you see hundreds of different girls, but you always see the same 7 guys?
Well, my man was on that line for like 5 minutes. Vic in NoCal. He's got a championship. It was back in 2010. Is that going to be enough? Let's keep moving. This guy is the angriest man in the jungle. A guy making only his 2nd SmackOff call, if you can believe that. But a guy who could easily win this thing. He's from the up-and-coming shiny city of Buffalo. He doesn't care if you hate him because he hates you as well. He is Rick in Buffalo. We go there right now. Great to have you, Rick. How are you?
Happy 25th, Jim. What an honor it is to be here. And thanks for moving things up a month this year, because I was really getting sick of these Twitter superstars who kept filling my DMs with their brilliant ideas. Hey, idiots, how about this for an idea? You can celebrate when you get red, and I'm going to celebrate when you get dead. Keep sniffing around my house, and it won't be long. And I'd like to welcome DA to the party this year, who now officially becomes the ugliest dude in the history of the competition. Good God, you're hideous. When they flash your mug on the big screen, it should come with a warning from the Surgeon General. Seriously, DA, I can't tell if that's your mouth or a catcher's mitt. You don't have a face for radio, my man. You got a face for a closed casket funeral. And everyone knows Caleb in Green Bay's coming in with a brand new gimmick this year. But could you kindly spare us with that on Wisconsin nonsense? The only things you should be on, Levy, are a diet and a woman. Now get to work, fat boy. And if I were you, Vic, I'd patch in my phone calls too, because you haven't made a good one in 5 years. Don't hate me because I got angry. And I had to laugh when Vic said he'd never attend a clone stock in fear that, and I quote, he'd never see another vagina. Well, good news, Vic. You can attend all the clone stocks you want, because whenever you want to see a vagina, just sit on your toilet and look down, you friggin' scumbag. And is anyone else as sick of Canada as I am? Honestly, Jim, I don't think this country's ever gotten anything right. Its economy's always in the tank, its citizens are always a-holes, and its smack-off callers are always friggin' terrible. Even that dead coked out mayor of Toronto thinks Matt and Tyler are a national embarrassment. And don't even get me started on all those NBA frontrunners. 3 Raptors fans in May turned into 3 million diehards in June. My skank mother-in-law even went up for the parade. This drunk bitch is going on 70 and still wants to party like it's Woodstock 69. And no lie, Jim, she comes back with one of those stupid vape pens and a t-shirt for my daughter that says, "Blaze it like grandma." Most parents save for their kids' education. I'm saving for their rehab. And people wonder why I'm so pissed off all the time. And while I have the platform, Jim, I feel an obligation to try and save Major League Baseball because those half-dead idiots sitting in the front office don't seem to give a damn. The solution really is a simple one. Get rid of replay already, you friggin' morons. Human error has always been the most beautiful part of the game. Think about it, Jim. Replay would have deprived us of all the joy that came with watching Don Denkinger blow the '85 World Series and the thousands of death threats that ensued. Replay would have robbed us of all the intrigue that came with wondering whether or not Steve Bartman was going to make it out of Wrigley alive that night. Threats and violence, Jim, the perfect national pastime. And please allow me to take a minute here to congratulate Brad and Corona. Not sure if you guys heard, but Brad was just awarded Best Classroom Mom for the 7th consecutive year. God, I hate guys like Brad. Never had to work a day in his life, walks around flashing his old man's cash, and hangs out with all his kids' friends just because he's got nothing better to do. The toughest decision Brad has to make is whether he wants his mom or his wife to wipe his ass before bedtime. And I know that glamour shot in your fundies won you the title last year badly, but the long-term damage it did is undeniable. Now the whole world knows you're built like a 12-year-old and hung like my 2-year-old. Hope it was all worth it, former champ. Wore the mighty Niagara Falls being the 8th wonder of the world, and the mighty Rick and Buffalo being the 9th. Wore Trapper and Dana Point. Wore the proud, shiny, up-and-coming city of Buffalo, New York. Your sports teams may be better than ours, but get us in a street fight, and we'll kick your asses every time. Thanks for the vine, Jim. I'm out.
Rick in Buffalo. That's how you do it. Man, that guy is so angry. That guy is so violent. That guy so badly wants to give anybody who looks at him the wrong way the hands. Rick in Buffalo and Vic back to back. All right, now it's getting really interesting. We are into hour 2. Quick timeout. Remember, if you're on Twitter, hashtag it SmackOff. If you're on Instagram and you're shooting video of a watch party, hashtag